Hello, hello.
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 Hi.
Hey everyone. How's everyone doing?
Absolutely.
Doing great.
I'm just gonna double check on YouTube. If everyone can hear us on YouTube, I think everything should be good. Twitter is live, YouTube is live. Okay. Yeah, welcome to our first office hours. And we've done technical community calls before, but we have never done where we would want to engage with hackers, whether it's an upcoming hackathon or whether it's developers who are just joining us for the very first time who want to know about what Powerloom does. And we have a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, this is the first time we're going to invite a lot more people from our core dev team who are here, so we can attach some faces to a bunch of the names who have been building the protocol for such a long time. Uh, Also, one special guest, Vijay, who's been helping with a lot of the content that you'll be seeing coming out soon today. And the usual people who always show up to the call, Pratik and me. We're always managing the community calls. So, but we'll take less of that, and we want to give time back to. I do like the background that Akshay has right now. It took my, and so did Pratik has put the same one. Yeah, we should probably switch to the dev background for this. We should have a special one. I do. I'm trying to see if I can bring somebody else on board. I have Anumit on board, but oh, there we go. Yeah, his video was showing up twice. He's showing up as Seth to me. I had to. I don't know why the names are a little jumbled up. There's like a tiny bug with the restream. Okay, let's see. We have some people on YouTube. Yeah, we have like 6 people watching. Let's also ping our Discord community. I think I can write a message on. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
can ping them as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, this is meant to be more of an open call. We don't want to take too much of time, mostly from people here talking about Powerloom. It's like we'll probably do a little bit of a quick walkthrough that we have in mind. But apart from that, it's meant to be more open call. And then in the chat, we're thinking to drop this link. So if people are really interested, we would love to have you guys, come on stage and ask questions too. That's also a possibility for this call. However, I know a lot of the community members might come in who have questions about running just the testnet nodes. So this is not that call. It is more about people who are building on top of Powerloom. So this is we just wanted to make it clear. We are happy to answer specific questions if you're curious about it because you're like, hey, I've been running this node. I want to understand how it works. And those are totally fine. We are happy to answer them. But this is, and we are definitely not going to answer anything about tokens, TG, and all those standard questions that come up on community call. This is not that. This is a dev office hours. So if you're not a developer, unfortunately, this is probably not the call for you. However, if you're curious, and even if you're not a developer, this is still a good call, right? You want to know about what Powerloom does, and I think we want to encourage more people to sort of spread the word. This is very important for us that people know what it takes to sort of build this protocol, what's behind it, why is it different, why is it needed, and I think that's something that gets lost in our space purely because there's so much hype and all those things that happens in a certain market condition. But the main thing is making sure that if eventually when we go live into mainnet, we have a lot more developers building a bunch of use cases. So I do want to save some time at the end of today. We are going to do a little bit of a teaser of the one of the new things that we have been working on. That's probably might go live either later today or tomorrow. Super excited to show that. And also, I believe we have something for next week as well. So we might do a teaser of both those things. So depending on how many people show up. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I see already a couple of people in our YouTube chat. So yeah, I think one thing is I wanted to give the mic first to Anumit because like he has been working with me on this protocol since day one, and in like a nutshell, Anumit, if you can sort of talk about what Powerloom is, like especially maybe from a little more, you can go a little more technical now since this is our dev call, and that way I'll move you to the focus. Hold on. I can do all these fancy things on Restream. Here you go. Stage is all yours.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Varun. Right. So in a nutshell, I would say it essentially builds on how blockchain is pretty much like a time series database, and most data points in there make sense in the frame of a time, or like how far the blockchain has moved since a certain point in time. So what Powerloom allows you to do is you access that, the fundamental nature of how blockchain data changes, and get like powerful data tools, data products, allow others to build on top of it, because composable is how it functions all the way down from how each data unit is built to how incentives are arranged. It all plays in together from that one composable aspect, right? So that's what Volume allows you to do in a nutshell, allow to leverage that power of the nature of composable data on blockchain, right? So yeah, Vijay also has joined us very recently in the matter of content. Very different take to what we have been usually putting out. I think I will let you watch that in due time. But yeah, very excited to introduce him as kind of the face for the developers and the rest of the community. So there will be a lot more interaction going on forth from his side. So I guess Swaroop, shall we like sort of get started on that note?
Yeah, I think what we wanted to do was so I'll
We will
probably
maybe
give.
allow, yeah,
Sorry.
we will allow certain people to maybe have the.
Yeah, so I'll leave some bit of context on what's been happening. So one is, of course, the Scaling Ethereum hackathon that has been going on. This is ETHGlobal's first virtual hackathon of 2024. We're giving away $5,000 in bounty. So if you're actually coming from that, welcome. If you're hacking on the hackathon using Powerloom, double welcome. Super excited to have you all here. And we want to support you, and we want to encourage more people to build. So even if you're not building today on Powerloom, the goal is that if you're already a participant at the hackathon, you have a great opportunity to not only talk to the team, understand what you can build, but have a good chance of winning the bounties, right? So, and that's the first priority. The second one is, of course, if you are a dev and maybe you were not aware of the ETH Global Hackathon going on, that's okay. We actually are sponsoring most of the hackathons. We are sponsoring all of the hackathons this year at ETH Global. If you've noticed, our logo is on all the events, but we'll be doing bounties depending on the bandwidth of the team, because we want to be able to support, right? So it's not just for the sake of like people build something. We want to support you when you're at a certain hackathon. So I believe the next one is at Sydney. We are considering, if there's enough demand, we might actually do a bounty there as well. So just wanted to sort of clarify that as well. And yeah, the main thing for us is that even for Powerloom as a protocol, those who have sort of gone deeper into, and I'll sort of next ask Vijay to sort of take you through the docs and all those things. But those who have even gone through the website, you'll notice that we have this concept of curators, and that's actually more for developers. So the goal is, like, so far we've been seeding all these ideas ourselves, but all of them are open source. So if you go to our snapshot or compute repository, if you go to the especially our good old Pooler repository, that has been our strongest use case that contains things, and we always keep pushing code. And even before we announce things, there's a lot of code that's already sitting in branches. So a lot of the people that you see on the call are responsible for making that happen. And I think I just wanted to, first of all, appreciate everybody who's been building, and also for the future builders who want to build on top of it. You're more than welcome. You should be forking that code and actually adding your own sort of ideas to it. Or if you feel like, hey, I can build something better, or maybe in a different language of your choice, that's another angle as well. So I think that's kind of where I want to leave it to, because we want to keep some things at the end for Q&A if we do have devs. I did see some questions come again, exactly opposite of what I said in the beginning, but I know that was going to happen. That's why I gave the disclaimer in the beginning of the call. There will be questions around TG, and we'll try to answer maybe some technical related things, but that's about it. Won't get too deep into how the testnet rewards work. This is more about devs, and we want to focus on that. Okay. On that note, Vijay, the stage is yours, and let me pull you to the. Hold on. It is a little tricky. I gotta move you there. There we go. You are on stage, sir. You should be able to share a screen
Right.
as well, and I can bring that in if you want.
Hi, everybody. This is my first call. Thank you so much for inviting me to this call. And I am Vijay Saran, today's host. And one thing I always say that when I joined Powerloom a few days back, I thought I'm joining a company. But when I got to know more about product and when my journey started with Powerloom, now I'm realizing that I've joined a revolution. So I will take you through this product and my journey. How did I set up my node? And I believe that a lot of developers are watching and they want to build awesome stuff using Powerloom. So for that, first of all, you'll have to go to powerloom.io. And once we are there, just go to documentation. And yes, we want to build something. So we'll go to build with Powerloom and Devnet.
Vijay, just for a second. I don't think your screen is showing up, at least not on stream.
One.
So let's see. Could you turn it off and turn it back on again? And let's see if we can bring it.
Is it up now?
Oh, there we go. You're up.
Amazing.
Yes,
I will take you through this again. So I believe a lot of developers are watching and they want to build awesome stuff. Some people I heard are coming from hackathons. So I tried Powerloom and it just opened my mind, and I want to share this journey with everyone. And I believe that a lot of people out there have that potential to build awesome things, and I want to share this journey so that people can get started. And to get started, you have to first go on to powerloom.io. And once you are there, just tap on documentation. And we want to build something. So we'll go to build with Powerloom and then go on to this section, Devnet, and click on introduction to Devnet. Well, first we'll tap on introduction. And here you will see that it's so beautifully defined here. What is Powerloom? But just so that you can easily understand it, I will tell you a story. So imagine the whole blockchain world is a treasure island, and we all people are traveling there. We are the travelers. And on that treasure island, there may be so many valuable things that we can find. And we all people, we all travelers are carrying our phones, our cameras. And whenever we find something valuable, we snap it. Now, what that valuable thing could be? It could be a on-chain transaction or a smart contract. And whenever you see it, you snap it. And then you share it across the network in a secure and decentralized manner. Now, the problem with today's data is that it is held by most central entities. And for developers like us, when we want to build something, some application, we know how much of a headache it is to get those APIs and how much does it cost and how biased that data is. And that's where the Powerloom protocol comes in and changes the game. On Powerloom protocol, what you can build with that data, I believe your imagination is the limitation. And that's where the whole game changes. To understand more about it, you can go through this documentation and you will get equally insightful things that I just said about. And I hope everybody's clear with this. If you have any question, you can ask it. And once we are done with that, let's move on to introduction to Devnet. As you can see that right now, we are live on Ethereum mainnet and Sepolia testnet. And the amazing thing is that to get access to the DevNet and build an exciting data application, you can mint a no-cost NFT slot on Sepolia network. So to get started, we'll all need two things, a laptop and an internet connection. And just 5 steps, I'll show you how you can set up your node and build awesome things. If everyone is fine with it, we can move ahead and you can give a thumbs up. All right. So the step number one would be to set up a burner wallet. And how you can do that? Well, there are two ways. Well, what I prefer, I will tell, I set up a MetaMask. So what is MetaMask? MetaMask is a DeFi wallet. And you can just search MetaMask extension if you are using Chrome or Brave. It works fine on both. So for my browser, it is already added, but in your browser, it would be coming something like add. So you can just tap on this button and it will add your wallet here. It will start showing here. So just click on it. For me, it's already logged in.
Vijay, I think you might be just sharing the window, possibly, or like a tab, because we don't see anything other than that.
Okay. Just give me a second.
Yes.
Let me share the entire, yeah. Okay.
No worries.
Is it fine now? Yeah. 1 second, I'm sharing my stream. Yep. So,
Okay.
yeah. So our first step would be to set up our burner wallet. Now, what is a burner wallet? So a burner wallet is something that I'm not carrying anything valuable inside it, something I can just use and throw. So I use MetaMask for it. You can use any wallet, but if you're keeping anything precious in your wallet, I would advise you to not use it. I'm fine with it, so I'm using it, and I hope you do the same. So just search MetaMask extension, and it would pop up for both Chrome and Brave, whichever browser you're using. So once you tap on it, for me, it is showing that remove from Brave. So because I have already installed it, but you can install it. For you, it will show add to your browser. And once you are done with it, you will see here that your wallet will come. For me, it's already showing that I have an account, but you will have to create a new account. So you can just create an account from here. Let's say I have to add an account. There's an add a new account or import an account. I would not advise to import an account because you might be carrying something valuable. So let's just add an account and just name it Powerloom dev and then just create. So here you go. For me, it's showing 0 Sepolia ETH. For you, it might be not showing like that because I have selected test network here. For you, it might be not selected. So you have to select it and then select Sepolia network. So once you select it, it will show just exactly like this. So now you have set up your MetaMask wallet or a burner wallet. The next thing we need are some Sepolia ETH. So for that, and you can go in the documentation. We have a link. Yeah, you can either go on this link. This link you can get, or personally what I use is faucets.chain.link/Sepolia. And when you go on this link, you have to put in your wallet address that you can get just from here. You need to copy your address and just put it here. And then you have to select 25 test link and 0.25 test ETH. So for me, it's already saying that I have to disconnect the GitHub, but for you, it would ask you to add your GitHub account. I have no problem doing it, so you can also connect. And once you're done with it, you can send request. I might have surpassed my all the chances to get Sepolia. Let's see if I can get it this time also. Waiting for confirmation. Maybe it's stuck here. Let's just wait for it.
See if you can click the second link. It might have already been confirmed.
Yeah.
No, you went away from it. No worries. Just open the MetaMask
Yeah.
again and see if you got the balance. You
No,
already have it.
I received it. Yes.
Yeah.
So just like that, you can get some Sepolia ETH from this link. I hope this is clear. If you have any questions, you can ask. This was our step 1. We have completed our step 1 successfully, and this also says that request is complete. So if you are clear with this, we can move ahead to step number 2. So step number 2 would be to understand our system requirements. To get started, you will need at least 4 GB of RAM, minimum 2 CPU cores, and minimum disk space of 40 GB. And also you have to install Python, and make sure that you have also installed Docker. If you have not installed it, you can click on this link and go here. You'll go through this link. You will see that they have explained for every system you use, whether it is Windows or it is Linux or it is Mac. You can just search it and it will just So for Mac, here I can see a full pictorial guide on how to install Docker on my system. For my system, I have already installed it, so I don't need to do it. I will just get it up and running so that when I set up my node, I don't have to turn it on again. And you can install it right now from here. No matter which system you are using, there's a full guide on how to get started with Docker. So now that we are done with this, we go on to this link. Devnet mint powerloom.dev. So once you arrive on this link, you'll be prompted to change your network to Sepolia. So you can just select it and do it. Here I can mint my slot. I just need to mint one slot. So I would just click on mint. My MetaMask wallet is already connected. And we would be asked for some fees, but we have Sepolia ETH, so no problem for us. And it is processing, so let's wait for it.
I just wanted to clarify because I guess there's a bunch of our snapshotters who are also on the chat. So this is purely for developers. It has nothing to do with your node mint that you're doing. This is a completely dev-facing one for them to play around with the protocol. So I would really advise you, if you're not a developer, please don't get confused. It has nothing to do with your snapshot or testnet. This is completely different, very different network, and the mint is not the same. So minting here will not give you snapshot or rewards. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks for clarifying. This is for builders who wants to build something for tomorrow. Today, this is just for techies who wants to build something amazing on Powerloom protocol. So now that you have minted your slot, you move to dashboard. And there just let it show. So we have minted our new slot 114. I already ran few slots which are active. So once you have got the slot, you can also check it if you go on MetaMask and see your transaction on block under ERC1155. I can just confirm my slot ID from here. So you can do the same. If you're not using MetaMask, you can use your transaction ID or your wallet address and just type in and search it here, and you'll be able to find it. So this was a step number 3 that we have successfully completed. Now that we are done with this, so let's move ahead to next step. For this, we have to run the snapshotter node. That is the next step. And for this, we have to first clone the snapshotter deploy repository. So for that, just open your terminal and if you are making it on desktop, just change the directory and make a new directory. Let's say I already created it, named as Powerloom workspace. So you can just create a new directory called Powerloom dev and just create it. Now that it is created, so we need to just copy this and change the directory to Powerloom dev, and then paste this command and clone it. So there you go. It was so easy. So now that this step is done, now we need to fork the directories. There are two directories. One is snapshot of config and the other one is snapshot of computes. So just click on this link and it will take you to a link on GitHub, and then you can see that we are on snapshot of configs. So here you will see a fork option. You have to just click on the fork option, and yes, it is cloning it. It is forking it. Sorry. You have to make sure that you unselect the main branch only option and then create a fork. For me, this is already forked. So as you can see in my repository, I already have it, but you can just click on that option and do it for yourself. For the next, you have to go on to snapshot of computes. Just do the same thing. It's the same process. Just go on snapshot of computes. You will see a fork option. Just click on fork and then make sure that you unselect the main branch only option and then create fork. For me, it is already created. As I already showed you, I have both of them, so I don't need to do it, but you can do it and it will just set up very easily. Now that we are done with that, we have to move on to next step. When forking the repository, ensure copy the main branch. Yes, we have done it. So what you do, once you have forked the repository, next step is to clone them in your local system. So to clone it, it's very simple. Just you have to git clone https github.com your GitHub username / snapshot of computes. Now this is one way. I find one more way that is easier for me. I just go to this and copy this from here so that I don't make any mistake, and just type git clone and paste it, push enter, and it's done. Now you can do the same for the other one, the computes we have done. Now let's do it for configs. I find this way better so that I don't make any spelling mistakes, which I do a lot of time. So just write git clone, just paste it, and we are doing configs, and it's done successfully. That was easy. Anybody could do it. So now that we are done with this, we have to go configure the environment variables. Now how to do that? All right. So once you are done with this, you have to open this folder in whichever you have set up your project in the Visual Studio Code or whichever code editor you are using. I use Visual Studio Code because I find it much easier to use. You can use whatever you like. And for me, this is already set up, but what you have to do is when you're in the workspace, just change the directory to Powerloom underscore deploy. So when you're in the directory, you have to write cat env.example2.env and then press enter. I'm not doing it because I've already done it, but once you do it, you will see that your env file will just show up here. So when you are done with this, you will be asked for many values that will be filled. I will show you env example for your reference. It will show something like this. You have to fill in the RPC URL, you have to fill in the signer account address, you have to fill in signer account private key, your slot ID. Now, what is this? I'll explain you in a while, but just be with me. It's so easy, and the values which are already filled, you don't have to touch them. So how to get your source RPC URL? So for that, we are using a website called Anchor. So just go to Anchor, and this is exactly how it will show for you. You have to start for free and for Ethereum. And when you tap on it, just select testnet, Sepolia, and to show you a RPC URL here, which you have to copy. And like I have pasted it in my env file, you have to paste it in your env file here, and it will show something like this. So for the next signer account address, how will you get it? So you'll set up your burner wallet initially. So what you can do is you can just go to MetaMask or whichever wallet you are using and just copy this account address from here and just paste it here. So this is the same account address I am using. Now, how can you get your private key? So that is very simple. Just click on account details, and here it will show you to, it will ask you to show private key. Just tap on it. It will ask your password. I forgot my password, which is completely okay. Yes. So then I have to hold to reveal my private key, and there you go. So you can copy the private key from here and just paste it here, and you'll be fine with it. So this is the slot ID we just minted. No, this is not the slot ID we minted. We minted a new one, 114. So let's just change it from here. And for snapshot or config repo, for you, it will be showing Powerloom, like in ENV example, if you see. So here, what you have to do is change this name to whatever username is your GitHub. So mine is VIJYSAARN. You can put it whatever is yours and do it same for the compute repo, and then you'll be fine with it. For the next, we have to put protocols state contract. So here you can see this is given, and we can just use it and paste it here. Rest other is everything filled. For IPFS URL, IPFS API key, it shows in the documentation that these all values are optional. Without this also, I can just set up and run it. So now that we are done with it, just save this file and run our first command, /bootstrap.sh. So it will clean up and set up the code base, right? Great. So we are done with that. So our next command is pip install r-requirements.txt. I've already done it, so I don't need to do it. You can just do it in your system. And there we are on our final command, that is build.sh. So we'll just run it. And just wait for it.
So while that is happening, I just wanted to maybe chime in on what's going on. So obviously there's a lot of moving parts, and we are working on streamlining this. So I think by the time developers check it out in a week or so, we'll probably remove some of these steps. The feedback actually came from Vijay himself, and he's the first one to. Vijay, could you go ahead and press yes?
Yes.
For this? Actually, you can continue. I can speak a little later.
Sure. So it's asking to assign a burner wallet. I would say yes. And then the private key, where you will get the private key, right from here, just select it, copy it, and come here and paste it. It will not show anything. That's completely fine. Press enter and just wait for it and let it do its magic it does. Beautiful. So now we are one step closer to building something wild, amazing, that we don't even know what we can build with it. And this is the start of something big, start of something new. And I'm really excited. Even I want to build something on this protocol, which I will eventually one day. And so can you. So just go wild on it once you set up your node and build awesome things for tomorrow. So let's check.
I think Vijay is also showing the demo of probably just a week ago, Vijay, you had never even seen what Powerloom did. And then you've been spending time playing around with it. And he recorded one of our first videos. And that's why we were super impressed. And we wanted to give a live demo of someone who's not, the day-to-day developer who's doing the same thing. And, is able to also set up the node in a similar way. So we wanted to give that a try. Okay, Vijay. Back.
Yeah, you can Second, let me check. My Docker is running.
I think this is a typical Docker issue.
Let me just hit it up again.
You can do a restart on that. We've seen this with our snapshot nodes as well. Like very randomly, Docker decides to just stop working because it has some sort of a container issue and it doesn't really tell you.
Completely fine as a developer's journey. So let's hit it up again. So it says that it has already assigned slot 114 to this wallet. So it did not ask me again. And it's hitting up again.
Proceeding now. Yeah, there you go.
Amazing. So
one thing to keep in mind for those trying it out for the first time, Docker is a bit heavy on systems. So if your spec is a bit low, your machine, it may not be able to run our Devnet node. So we are working on a even lighter version of this. This is what our snapshot is run right now, which is very simple. But for developers, we didn't want to make a light version first because otherwise, then it beats the purpose of building Powerloom and playing around with the core parts of it. But yeah.
yeah. So as you can see on the dashboard that our 114 slot is active and you have successfully set up your node. So it is just that easy to get started. So for a developer starting out, you know what you are working on and this is where it starts and you can build awesome things. So just go wild on it and build something awesome. So I would just leave it here. If you have any questions, just hit in the chat box and we will answer your queries. So let's go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vijay. This was super cool. I'm going to bring some people back on stage. Let's see. I mean, going from someone who had never tried what Powerloom does to doing a live demo in front of an audience, which is also being streamed. Please keep in mind, it's like we have a huge community on Discord and Twitter. They'll all be watching this, and they may not be watching it in real time, but they are sometimes watching on their phone or they catch up the next day. Like we have some audience in Southeast Asia, so it's a bit late for them to join the call, these specific calls at least. And yeah, that was so cool watching it live, getting it to work. Trust me, I think live demos are like something that I love doing, but they are super annoying to deal with. Like clearly you could see, right, the Docker thing working or not. So yeah, so we just wanted to show how anyone, right, even as a non-dev, like which is basically showing as I mean, he's obviously self-taught coder now, but he wanted to show that just setting up the node part is super simple. And then if you go through our docs, we have more information as when we go around, like explain how you can build new use cases. So we have a couple of them. We'll drop some links on YouTube, and we constantly share it on Twitter as well, so you can check it out there. So if you go to docs after DevNet, that's the next step, right? So it's either extending Pooler or you're extending another use case where you want to build yourself. So I think Akshay, if you're there, which is since you're the one who has helped build a lot of these things, would love for you to sort of chime in as well. Let me see if I can bring you on stage. There you
Yeah,
go.
thanks, Farouk. So yeah, thanks Vijay for the demo. It was really smooth and really informational as well for new people. I just wanted to maybe share my screen and show a couple of sections where there is a lot more information about the protocol. And if you guys want to learn more about Powerloom, then this is where you can essentially go.
Yeah,
So let me
just go ahead and I'll bring that on stage.
okay, let me just share my screen.
There you go.
Right. So I'll just give a brief about various sections in the docs, and that should help anyone get started with Powerloom docs and what is possible and what can be built using Powerloom. So yeah, the best place to start is the introduction section. It basically talks about the snapshot of peers, what those are, and what kind of roles do we have in Powerloom network. There are a couple of them like the snapshotters, validators, curators, what those are, what roles they will be playing in the future. So we have all that information here. So you can just get started, give it a brief read and start from here. But if you are a developer and you want to build on Powerloom, then the best section to start is this, build with Powerloom. Here we have a overall introduction about all the components that we have in our system. And then we have the DevNet section, which we just explained. We have the snapshot and node, but this section is much more interesting. This is the use cases section. So here we have 3 examples that we personally have built at Powerloom, and that you can take inspiration from or learn how or how like how complex stuff you can build using Powerloom essentially. So starting from in order of complexity, you can start with this very simple wallet interaction use case, which is nothing but like you have one simple EVM wallet, and you want to track all of its interactions with whether it's like other wallets or smart contracts or anything, right? So a very simple use case, and like this is also the starting point for the DevNet thing as well. So here we have explained everything in detail, all the config, like how to config, how to extend it to different use cases, how the code works. All of this is there. This is the most simple thing. So essentially everything has a compute. This is sort of a callback function which gets called and it computes everything and then returns to the snapshot or node. And then that data gets submitted to the Powerloom network and then finalized, right? So start from this, and then we have the second use case, which is essentially building a Quest platform on ZK EVM. So any sort of on-chain activity, you can track unlimited number of users, any activity you want to track. So this can enable you to build a fully fledged Quest tracking platform, which we use for our phase 2. And finally, we have Uniswap V2, which is the info.uniswap.org page, right? So this is a complex use case with a lot of base snapshots and then aggregation on top of aggregation. So again, all the data points, this is the actual dashboard. So all of this data, this is coming from Powerloom. And right now our snapshotters, they are also contributing to this data market in our testnet as well. So again, how it works, everything, all of it is properly explained, all the data models, everything is there. So please take a look at this, and then once you do this, you should have a decent understanding of Powerloom and what you can do with Powerloom. There are a lot more sections, for example. So if you look, protocol overview is also very good. It explains all the things and all the concepts and all the components in detail if you want to take a look. But if you are just participating in the hackathon, then this is our ideas page. We do have a couple of interesting ideas if you want to take a look. This is also there in our ETHGlobal dashboard. So just start from there. But yeah, I'll just go over some of the project ideas, and that should help you. Yeah, so around which. Right. Yeah, so like this doc should be enough for you to get started if you don't want to spend your time on docs. But yeah, a couple of problem statements. So the first one is just like the Uniswap. We right now support Uniswap V2 on Ethereum and Base. But if you want to extend it to other chains, feel free to do so. You can take inspiration from our open source code base and just extend it to any other chain you want, right? So that's the first idea. Second is implementing Aave on any of these chains, very similar to Uniswap. We also have open sourced Aave implementation as well. So you can use it to like extend to other chains, and if you want to build something custom, that you can also do, right? And then on-chain quests, which we have an example for. And then if we, this is a little bit more complex, so I'll skip, just read through it later. But yeah, also one another interesting thing that you can build for like using Powerloom is, so Powerloom is completely decentralized, right? We have our own Prof chain and smart contract, and all the snapshotter peers, they interact with this chain. So everything that's happening on the network is actually out there in the open, right? So it is very much possible to build a very cool dashboard. We have our protocol state contracts, all the events that are being emitted, everything is in the open. So listening to those events, you can build like a really cool dashboard which shows all the network activity, the projects that are being submitted, the data being finalized, active nodes, everything, right? So that is another, that can be another very cool project if you want to build. And then the snapshotter node, right now it is built in Python and a combination of Go. But if you want to port it to some other language to help other developers, and so that they can also build with Powerloom, right? Then that is also a very good project idea and should be able to help a lot of developers in the future. So just like this, we have a couple more ideas here. So please go through this. And if you want to build something on your own, like there is some game or some dApp that you think it would be a great idea to move away from centralized APIs and use Powerloom to get that data in a decentralized manner, then feel free to get creative and build all of that as well. Everything is open source, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us in our Discord, and we'll be happy to help. Yeah, I think that's it from my side, Swaroop. If you want to add anything else, please.
Thank you so much, Akshay. So yeah, I think I can take a few questions. I don't see many in YouTube right now. Most of them were sort of non-dev related questions. There was a comment that please don't forget your MetaMask wallet. So just to give context, Vijay had set it up just for the demo. It was a brand new wallet because of the flow that we have right now. We're going to change that completely. Those of you who have used our the snapshot or light node, you know that we don't even let you share private keys that easily, right? Like the whole point is that you set up a burner locally and then you use that key internally. So we do have some tools. So we're going to update that documentation hopefully by next week. So you can actually use your main wallet to mint. And then use a separate burner wallet, which will be automatically generated when you sort of work with it. So we have that plan as well. So we'll do that. So don't worry about it. I don't think it was his main MetaMask where he's holding funds. And for those who have asked about the TG and all those questions, we're not going to be going over that. Planning to launch to other markets. How about I actually give a demo? Akshay has kind of technically revealed it, but I will do the demo anyway. All right, so far we have always had this Uniswap V2 use case. It's been on Ethereum data markets. Those who have followed us for over a year, we actually had it for Polygon 2 in the past using Quickswap. So all of that code base is still there. But we've been, as you guys have seen, like we've been pushing more things towards Base. So later today or tomorrow, we're going to be announcing our next iteration. We've also given it a fresh coat of paint. So if you're watching this video, you're getting the first view of our brand new interface. Also with our first ever extension to not only the Base ecosystem, but supporting more data markets. So this is the exact same thing which Uniswap page itself doesn't quite support yet because there's no provider. Graph and others don't have Uniswap V2 data at the moment. So we were able to actually extend our existing use case. And this is what Akshay was talking about, using an existing code and sort of porting that over for more things where developer effort is actually quite minimal. So we were able to actually support Base V2 data markets here. And that this is very similar to how we have for the Ethereum markets. You're just sort of changing the contract addresses of these, whether these are token pairs or pools. And then the same code base can actually support that. of course, it requires a different RPC, and super excited to show you guys how we are now able to not only go from one chain to the other. There's also a little hint here, which I'm not going to go over today, but those who will see it, that's probably going to get announced next week as well. That's a whole new product that we're working on. And yeah, very excited to get this going, and hopefully someone in this hackathon is able to extend this use case. This is probably the easiest one, and I think that's what Akshay was talking about, how you can sort of build use cases on top of that. All right, so we are definitely well over time, so I think it's best we sort of wrap it up. First of all, a big thank you for those who have joined the call or who are watching this later. And probably the biggest shout out goes to Vijay for doing a live demo, making it work, how to set up your DevNet. And I think that's like, we haven't even put out our official video, and we have now gone and shown it live. That speaks a lot. Like, we internally were discussing whether we want to do a recorded version or not. So super thankful to all the devs in our team working really hard. And you'll see more and more contributions from all of our teams, helping not only developers, but for more people to understand what Powerloom does. So yeah, I think until the next call, awesome to have you all here. Have a good evening, day, rest of your weekend. And yeah, we'll see you on Discord and other socials.